So this is a part 2 video, but you don't need to watch the previous one to understand what's going on here. But if you haven't watched it, you should. Now, The Dark Knight begins with one of the best action sequences in film history, but you knew that. However, certain parts of it seem a bit too convenient. Take the getaway bus for instance. For it to back up into the bank, it will cause a huge traffic snarl-up, and by extension, a crowd. But you don't see any of this. A school bus slammed into a bank and people don't want to see what happened? And what about the children? Does no one give a fuck about them? Gotham's a weird place, but it can't be that weird. It's also rather convenient that there's a space betwixt these two buses for the Joker to expediently occupy. Anyway, the Joker gets away and everything is just
fine and dandy.
Now, I don't know about you, but this seems to be a multi-story parking lot, so it comes as a huge surprise when this happens. So, can the tumbler fly now? Because there's no other way for it to get up here. Also, in a very entertaining and thrilling scene, the Joker crashes the mobs. How does he put it? Group therapy session?
Group therapy sessions?
To solicit a job. Now, when they try to dispose of the clown, he reveals an armory of grenades in his coat, which is very funny. But how does he get in with all those grenades? As everyone is getting into the kitchen, they get frisked, and we even see a metal detector at the door. So how does he get in with all those grenades? And then we have Lau's quote-unquote live stream. Okay, I'm not sure if it's live or recorded, but hear me out. That TV is old and we never see any camera or even a mic. On the other hand, Lau responds to questions and even switches off the camera when the Joker calls him a squealer, indicating that he can hear and see them in real time. So I guess my question is Lau streaming this live or did he record everything beforehand? I must also say that Mr. Wayne's Hong Kong alibi seems fickle at best. So hear this. The Batman needs to extract Lau from Hong Kong. This naturally means that Bruce Wayne will be out of the country and it will be very easy for people to put 2 and 2 together, if you know what I mean. As such, he and Alfred decide to abscond with the entire Russian ballet. Oh, to be rich. However, there's a problem. Say one of those girls gets interviewed by a tabloid about her getaway with the eccentric Bruce Wayne. Yup, there's a pretty big chance that she will divulge that the billionaire was gone for most of that vacation. And then, questions followed by the truth.
You can't handle the truth!
Anywho, everything goes as planned and the Batman goes to pick up Lau. However, I do have another question. Why is the entire Hong Kong police department here? I know Lau pisses them off, but let's take this specific scenario as an example. All they know is that their systems have been interrupted. It could be a power failure, a system failure, a failure, could be anything except a vigilante flying halfway across the world for just one guy. So you mean to tell me that every time there's a blackout, every cop in the city heads for Lau's place? Well, they gotta protect the employer, I suppose. Anyway, back to the Joker and how he gets into Harvey's fundraiser. In fact, how does he get into Harvey's fundraiser?
We made it!
I know he and his men maxed out the elevator's capacity, but how do they gain access to it in the first place? Which is more, this elevator leads straight to Bruce Wayne's penthouse, which is full of rich people. Maybe it's just me, but shouldn't the security be tighter? There's also that part where Bruce pulls fingerprints from a shattered bullet, and I must say it's a bit of a stretch even for superhero standards. They say that the print comes from when the round was pushed into the clip, but if that's the case, you'd need the shell, not the bullet itself. Also, once the bullet is fired, it travels through the air, hits a brick wall and shatters. By this time, all the oils creating the fingerprint should have been smeared. They'd have nothing to work with. And then we have the mayor's obituary in the papers. The mayor, FYI, isn't dead, and yet his obituary is in the papers. Now, at this point, one has to wonder, is the Joker a clown or a magician? It will seem that not a single person in the printing press could deduce that this story was indeed fake. No one even thought that the mayor's death was worth front-page news. Anyway, this leads us to Commissioner Loeb's funeral, which the mayor attends and positions himself front and center. Keep in mind that his life has been threatened by a face-painted, lip-licking maniac who's proven himself quite effective at killing high-ranking city officials. It seems to me like he's attending just so he can give Jim a chance to fake his own death. And speaking of the maniac, I'd like to recap the Joker's plan. Now, he plans on killing innocent civilians until the Batman reveals himself. So due to public demand, Harvey claims the limelight as the Batman. So while he's being escorted to the county prison, the Joker plans on intercepting the convoy and taking Mr. Dent, I'm assuming to kill him. Keep in mind that the Joker's working theory is that Harvey is the Batman. So it comes as a surprise when he confesses to the real Batman that his intention was never to kill him.
I don't want to kill you! What would I do without you?
Yet he has Harvey strapped to a fuckload of gasoline. It's either the Joker found out Harvey wasn't the Batman or he's lying and wants to kill the Batman. Also, did no one see the Joker and his men rig the hospital to blow up? I mean, setting all this up would have taken considerable time, effort, and manpower. Someone must have spotted an off-putting clown setting up charges. This applies to the fairies as well. Someone should have seen something, and even if they didn't say anything to the cops, people talk. At any rate, I would venture to say that The Dark Knight is one of the best comic book adaptations ever. It tells a great story with extremely charismatic characters, and the pacing is just excellent. That's it, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, sharing, hitting the like button, leaving a comment, and as per usual, I hope to catch you on the